Hi, my name is Maurice Jones, and this is Scrum Mobile. What I'm going to show you really quickly is a quick overview of our mobile application. Upon loading, you get the main screen, the iteration screen, where you can go ahead and create your iteration name. I'm going to actually run through this as well. The iteration name is Sprint 1. You can go ahead and put a date in for your iteration. I'm going to do today, 4/20. Make it next week, 4/27. Actually, there's a safeguard for putting in data wrong, in the wrong format. So, in order to fix that, of course, make those changes. Alright, now we finally have the I did wrong. It wasn't 2 digits there. I can now add the iteration. You see it here. You can see a list of all the iterations that we have so far as well. So these are like test ones that we've done that also get added to the database. The next tab is the task tab. Here is where you will be able to put like the task name. For this one, we're going to just put something really simple like create UI. This is essentially where you will put tasks for your Scrum board using our mobile app. And this is something that we'll say that's in progress, and we can add the task. Also, you can view your tasks, all the tasks you have here. I'm gonna delete. Anyone you click, you can delete. So that erases it from the database as well. Lastly, I'm gonna go to the team tab. This is where you can add the members of your team and their position or role. So we're gonna add team member Chelsea as project manager. Add team member. So they instantly get added there, and you can also see the other ones in which you've added. So member name as well as what member position.
Alright, so hi, my name is Chelsea. I'm going to be reviewing the actual code for the application. So first we're going to go over the main activity, which is where we create our fragments, and so that way we're clickable from our toolbar, which is down here. So right here, this is just declaring our toolbar because we have to create that in a separate area. And then we declare our iterations fragments, which is from our XML files, which we can find over here. From there, we create the set navigation on selected item listener. And this basically just is when each time we select each one of these little areas, it'll switch from screen to screen. We create a switch statement that allows us to click through the screen, and it tags which fragment that we want to view. And then down here, this is just setting the fragment transactions and being able to ID which fragment will be going into the main frame. So next, we're going to go over into the actual fragment, which is this is where basically everything happens at. So we can start the debugger. So right here, this is just going to be an overview of the on-click method that allows us to save the iterations, and this is basically the same for each the task and team iterations as well. So to keep things simple and not having to repeat myself over, we'll just go over that, and then I'll briefly walk through the other tasks and show you where the database updates and deletes. So if we want to put in an iteration name, we'll do sprint 2, and then we'll do some dates. Doesn't really matter what dates they are. They just need to be in the proper format, which is going to be month, date, year, well, before the full year. And then once we click add iteration, this will cycle through our actual debugger. So right now we're tapping into our DTO, which basically we have a constructor in our DTO itself, which I can show you. And as I stated, this is the same for task and team as well. And this is the constructor that we're using. In the constructor itself, it also creates a randomized ID, which we use to identify each input in the database. Then from there we could do F8. And then what this does, it adds all of this information to a list that's created up here, right here. And we'll use this list to actually add it to the list view below. The list view is a temporary view. It does not stay. So say you went to a different screen, it'll just go away because we're not keeping that item. That'll be on the view iteration screen once we click the button. And then all of this information down here just clears out this information. And then the notified data set change, it just notifies our list view adapter that we're changing the information, and it'll update it. Down here is where we access the Firebase itself. We get an instance of the Firebase reference. This will create a database reference, so that way we can go ahead and push that information from the application to Firebase, which you can see over. I'll bring that up for a second so you can view it as it adds it, if it lets me. And as you can see on the Firebase, our Sprint 2 has been added. So down here, this is our view iterations on click listener. So basically it'll just send us to a new activity by declaring an intent and then telling us where that intent is going to take us, which is going to be view iterations activity. Once we click that, that'll take us to our iterations after we get through the debugger. So give me 1 second. So what this is doing here is it's getting information from the database itself. So we're creating a reference, which we create up here, to iterations, which is our child in our database. And then it's listening for a value event, which is us populating that, bringing up the actual activity view. And then down here, alright, so what this does is it creates a data snapshot of the actual database itself for the iteration child, and then it parses that through to the iterations DTO and actually gets a value, and then from here gets the value of the information within the database, and then passes it to the iterations DTO, which gives us a specific format, which I can show you over here. It's going to be this format that we want to see once we when we're looking at the iterations activity. And then it grabs the key values and put it to an array list, which this is basically just going to connect our array list to our list view and our array list to the database itself. So when we get down here, we're ready to delete we have the key value in reference to whatever we're deleting, and then this just adds that information to another list, which attaches to our list view. If we did get down here, we have an on-click listener for the actual items in the list view. It grabs the list position and removes it according. We have a reference that references to the database itself based on the child and the key's position, and we remove that value in the database. And then from there, we also remove the key from the list as well, so that way we don't have any duplicates spawning for some reason or things not being deleted properly. And then to show you that working, you can see it here. So if we just click this one, it deletes it. Yay. Alright. And this, like I said, this is the same for basically all of them. So you can go to view task and we can delete a task and that'll delete. We can go to team, click view team, that deletes as well. Delete another one. We can add the team member. And you can see that populate in the database. Same thing here. Add to the database. So everything itself is working. And that is it. That is our application.